Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about that second week drop off for the Rise of Skywalker. Because of course it dropped off because every movie drops off. But we're going to talk about the drop off in the Rise of Skywalker compared to other Star Wars movies. We're also going to talk about Order 86 on Rotten Tomatoes. You know, how the audience score has been locked at 86% for damn near 2 weeks. We're going to talk about some other stuff related to the Rise of Skywalker, how dismal the Chinese performance actually was. It is actually worse than they thought it was going to be. And then we're going to talk about, you know, the theory that maybe they should have delayed Star Wars for another year to make a better movie and get some revenue on the books for next year, because Disney's movie slate next year is not looking too good.
No, it's not that. It's not like this year.
No, they will never have another year like this anytime soon. So before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're at about 86,000. Order 86.
Oh, there you go.
86,000.
We order you to bring us to 86,000, because it'll tick off those people.
Well, no, we'll get to 86,000, then we'll get locked to 86,000.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that. So we want to go over 86,000.
Order 100.
Yeah, execute order 100. 100. We want to hit 100,000 hopefully within the next couple months. You guys have been awesome. So here we go. This is the 60% drop off, slightly trailing The Last Jedi. So look, every big movie has a drop off.
Oh yeah, it's normal.
This is very normal. Now, this is not as catastrophic as like Batman versus Superman, also written by Chris Terrio, which had a massive drop off second week.
Well, even a couple days ago, they thought it was going to be like 71% for a drop off. So we were waiting. We were waiting until today to do. People were like, why aren't you doing the box office? Because we were waiting until the day when we actually got the real numbers to see what the drop was. So there. Yeah,
so that's it. We didn't want to do it day by day because, frankly, we're getting kind of tired of talking about it. I mean, look. Long and short of it is, The Rise of Skywalker, despite making bank, didn't make enough bank.
No.
It compared to the other Star Wars movies, even in the sequel trilogy, it's coming up short.
Yeah.
It's coming up short. So Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker had no problem dominating the box office. Okay. However, it's not all good news for The Rise of Skywalker, because the movie saw a 59% drop from opening weekend, which is larger than analysts were expecting for the blockbuster sequel. Some people were saying 71. I'm trying to figure out where that number is coming from. What does that mean for the future of the Rise of Skywalker box office? So it might not actually do as well even as The Last Jedi. That's what people are saying. Box Office Mojo has the Rise of Skywalker adding another 72 million to the domestic, bringing the gross to 361 million in 10 days. The second weekend drop of around 59% isn't quite as big as the 67% drop that The Last Jedi saw back in 2017, but remember, it opened bigger too.
Yeah, but also everybody went and told everybody, oh my god, what the hell is this? And then it dropped off more.
Yeah, the word of mouth on this one has been, I think, a little better.
No, it has been considerably better, but it's not,
it's still not a good movie. So at the same point in its theatrical run, but at this same point in its theatrical run, The Last Jedi had grossed 368 million, putting Rise of Skywalker behind by only 6.3 million. Now, this is a problem, because the way they predicted this to go down was that the middle of a Star Wars trilogy is always down, and then it always rebounds for the last movie. The first one's always the biggest one. The second one takes a dip. This happened with both with Empire and with Attack of the Clones. And then the third installment does almost as good as the first one. I think Disney was betting on this, trying to market it like Endgame. They were hoping it was going to do almost as good as The Force Awakens.
Right.
And it's not even close.
No.
Not even close. So when you compare The Rise of Skywalker to Force Awakens, it's unfortunately not even close. I just said that. The movie that ushered in a new era of Star Wars had reached 540 million after only 10 days in release. It only dropped 40% in the second weekend, because people actually liked that movie.
Yeah, they did.
And they were excited for more, and they were excited to see Harrison Ford, and they thought we were finally going to get to see at least Luke and Leia together, alive. It didn't happen. This shouldn't be considered the norm, since Star Wars had been out of the box office spotlight for 10 years. The sequel trilogy promised the return of legacy characters, and they totally dropped the ball on that. For all the fans praising The Rise of Skywalker for course correcting course correcting, little air quotes, after the events of The Last Jedi, the box office doesn't show that there is much more audience interest in the Skywalker Saga finale.
You actually just like burn so many bridges with people. They just don't care. That is what we've been going back to saying over and over again. The general public just doesn't care anymore. And that's worse than the ones who hate it, because at least if you hate it, you care.
Yeah, and I think that's it. I think we're living in a post-Star Wars society. I think
I don't
people moved on.
Think that, but I think as far as the movies go, not the TV shows. I think people are, Mandalorian has proven that, but the movies, I think people are just like, nope.
So Star Wars is being relegated to the small screen. Is this because The Last Jedi left a bad taste in the mouth of some fans? Russian bots and man babies. Or is it because reactions to The Rise of Skywalker have been divisive among both critics and fans? Even though the divisiveness isn't quite as pronounced among fans. I don't know, most people I'm talking to are like, it sucks.
A lot of people I talk to, they say it was better than The Last Jedi. And that's what they can say about it. They like the fact that they tried to undo The Last Jedi. So I'm hearing from people that they like it. So, and they're talking general public people that they liked it for those reasons. So
we haven't really talked much about this. Now, we did our sit out. We did not go see Rise of Skywalker opening weekend. Instead, we live streamed, and we were actually watching the audience score come in real time. And it got to 86% positive. Back then, it only had about 2,000 verified ratings, and now we've got 70,000, and it hasn't changed at all.
And people are like, well, maybe it's just really good. Okay, yeah, and if it is, you would think it would fluctuate. It might go to 87, it might go to 85, and then come back up. It would be fluctuating back and forth. It's not moving. It is like locked at 86.
All these like no avatar, verified, 5-star, verified, 5-star.
Some of them could be the tickets that Disney bought.
Well, okay, that is a theory.
They come in all the same time.
They do. They come in within minutes of each other, and we noticed that when we were watching it. We were watching it live, and you can go back and watch the Rise of Skywalker sit out that we had, and we were watching it live. We're like, man, these are almost robotic. They're coming in, boom, 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 5-star ratings, and then they got locked down. Now, there is a conspiracy theory. There's a conspiracy theory that maybe Disney made a phone call to their friends, former co-workers over at Fandango.
The guy who runs Fandango, owns Rotten Tomatoes, was a higher up at Disney for many years.
Right. So it's not inconceivable, because we know that they changed everything to accommodate Captain Marvel.
I was just going to say, look at all the rules and things they bent for Captain Marvel.
It's not inconceivable that they locked it down, or that there is something going on, because people
weird.
People were reporting all these seats that were sold out in the exact same pattern, and if you bought a ticket, then you could just, I don't know what they're doing, but it's possible that they could be using those verified ticket purchases, that they're actually bots or dummy accounts, and they've got people writing fake reviews because now everybody's saying, don't listen to the critics, listen to the audience score. So they'll let the critical score free fall, but they're not going to let the audience score go down.
And there's no way it would be locked at the exact same thing all this time. It would fluctuate up or down. It would not stay 86 every stinking day, no matter how many times a day you checked. It's just not going to do that. Statistically speaking, it's very unlikely that they would stay that way.
Yeah, so this is interesting. They're talking.
Oh, yeah, it's interesting. This is interesting. Okay, read the. Keep
yeah, as we reported previously.
That is interesting.
A scrape sample. Well, we know similar patterns when we're watching it live. We're like, this sounds like a variation of the same thing. A scrape sample of 2,500 of these reviews revealed that many of the reviews are very similar and contain a short blurb that repeats the sentiment. Great end to the saga without explaining what they like about the movie.
This is from reclaimthenet.org.
Yeah, so this is a YouTuber, Sheila Allen. YouTuber, of course it's a YouTuber.
Right, because YouTubers can be the ones calling out stuff.
YouTuber Sheila Allen, who scraped these 2,500 reviews and performed the original text analysis, suggested in her original video that the similarities between these short reviews point to many of them being fake. Allen has scraped an additional 6,000 reviews for The Rise of Skywalker and found the strange pattern still prevalent, even when looking at a much larger sample. Here, great way to end, 46 times, fitting end to the 44 times, great ending to the... Now,
those ones, they could be, I mean, it could, statistically, I think that could be...
It could be, but look, they have a way of spinning text, right, with different websites out there.
There's programs that'll do it for you,
where you basically put in phrases, parts of sentences, or whatever, and it'll recombine them in different ways to make it seem like it's more organic. Now, I'm just saying, and I'm not saying this is true, but if they bought the tickets and they had access to be able to leave a verified review, and they maybe had some people over in like India or China, well, not China because China hates Star Wars, and we'll talk about that, but some other country that has a room full of cell phones with access to these accounts, it's not out of the realm of possibility when you have infinite money like Disney to save a movie that's potentially going to cost you $1 billion, you would be so inclined to fudge it a little bit.
It's not just Disney. I'm just going to flat out say it. A lot of companies hire people to go and give reviews. They've gotten caught doing it. A lot of them times they'll tell people, they'll hire people to be influencers on social media. Disney just got busted the other day for doing it with Frozen 2. That they go out there and just, play us up to the people. So it would not be that far of a stretch to think that these places would do something like this.
Yeah.
I mean, we know they do some stuff similar.
Yeah, I mean, look at this, though. We were noticing the same thing when we were watching it live. Great end, great ending, great ending.
Oh, 4 hours
finish,
ago.
4 hours, six. And they all come in waves. We see the same things with comments on videos that are critical of Disney.
Yeah, it's funny.
Just to put that out there, just, for those of you who, I don't know how many of our comments you actually read, but we do get a lot of either new accounts or accounts that are kind of fishy, sometimes leaving very similar comments.
Well, my new favorite one is, it's all, my friend watched and told me.
Yeah.
That's the new one. My friend watched. And I heard about it because my friend watched your video and said, yeah, that's the new one right now.
So if a company has access to people to be able to do this sort of thing, they probably also have access to people to go out there and try to discredit YouTubers they don't like, who they think are damaging their brand.
Oh, they totally do.
I'm just putting that out there.
Well, we know that there was a big company, I'm not going to say it wasn't the one we're talking about, and they had a huge campaign to go out there and target people who were critical of the company and to make it out like they were just, to discredit these people, which they got caught doing it.
Oh, it was Monsanto.
Oh, you're going to say it? Okay.
Yeah, I'll say it. Well, no, it was news. It was Monsanto.
They got busted for doing it. If you think Monsanto would do it, what don't you think Disney would do it? I'm just saying. No proof they are. I'm saying it would be a possibility.
Disney and Monsanto used to be thicker than thieves. Monsanto used to actually sponsor a lot of the Disney attractions.
That's true.
In Disneyland.
So I'm just saying, it's not out of the realm of possibility. We're not saying that is what happened, but following that train of thought, it's possible.
Tinfoil mouse ears. But when a lot of money's on the line, you do what you got to do, because really you just got to get this thing in the theater, making money, as much money as it can. And if people are going to trust the audience score over the critical score, then you do what you can do to save that.
Right.
That's probably the thought process. China doesn't give a shit. We talked about this before, but it's worse. It's even worse than we talked about previously. By Monday, this is after the second weekend. Yeah, second weekend. Skywalker ranks seventh at the box office behind a pack of local Chinese action films. Only made $2 million in its second weekend, account for less than 3% of China's total screenings.
Wow.
This is freaking Star Wars. Since last week, online ticketing platform Maoyan has lowered its prediction for the lifetime gross for the Rise of Skywalker in China to just $19 million. Far below the $126 million grossed by The Force Awakens. Okay, I want to point this out because everybody keeps saying, oh, Star Wars never does good in China. No, comparatively speaking, Star Wars doesn't do that good in China compared to Marvel, but Star Wars has done a hell of a lot better. Force Awakens, $126 million, like 10 times what Rise of Skywalker did. $69 million for Rogue One, had Donnie Yen, that probably helped. Last Jedi even did $42.6 million, and Rise of Skywalker is going to do less than half of that. So for all of Disney's intention to try to build a Chinese audience for Star Wars, they're failing miserably at it because they do not like Star Wars. Maybe they have more taste than we do. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they like The Mandalorian. They should give them The Mandalorian and see if they like that.
I don't know. Everybody likes Baby Yoda, so anyway.
Everybody likes Baby Yoda. Even the Chinese like Baby Yoda. They'll come up with a little name for him.
I'm sure they like him enough to make knockoff merchandise, which will be. Or I'm sure they're making the current merchandise. So who we kidding?
They probably are. He looks like a little Chinese dumpling, like a little green dumpling.
He kind of does look like a dumpling. Oh my god, I want Baby Yoda dumplings. Oh my god. I want baby Yoda dumplings now.
Oh, don't give me ideas.
You have to make it so.
So Rise of Skywalker, again, making money. We never said it was going to bomb. We have never said here it was going to bomb.
No, we never said that.
We said it was going to underperform, which it is.
That we did say.
Comparatively speaking, because there's waning interest in the sequel trilogy. Now, this is Scott Mendelson from Forbes saying they should have waited until 2020 to actually put out a good movie.
Yeah, well, I agree with him on that.
I agree with him. Plus, you know, they needed another $1 billion grosser for next year because next year is going to be weak. Disney does not have a ton of good movies.
They have some, like they have the Black Widow movie, and they have a couple animated ones coming, and they have some things coming out next year, but not like what they had this year. Nowhere near what they had this year.
Yeah, they said the film looks rushed, compromised, traced over, and stitched together in the editing room. Ouch. Considering the rush production schedule, 4 months shorter than Force Awakens, giving J.J. Abrams, Chris Terrio, and Kathleen Kennedy more time would have probably netted a better, or at least more coherent final product.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. No, because this goes back to how they want to make this Marvel. Why didn't they space them out 3 years apart like they did for the other two trilogies?
So they need to get money back faster.
Yeah, exactly.
People asked them in that one interview we talked about, why did you not split it into two films instead of just having it one, because it's so packed. And they said that they didn't have they wanted to keep it to the trilogy formula, so they didn't do that, and that's why it was all crammed in together.
Yeah, but I thought it was weird when they announced this new trilogy. I thought it was weird that they were only 2 years apart. I'm like, that's not gonna work very well.
But I mean, admit it, as a fan, at first not knowing what we're gonna get, you're excited, like, oh, I don't have to wait so long, and they're gonna have a movie in between, which they stopped doing, and all that, you know. And sometimes, you know, I think, like, you know, Rogue One was better, you know, and I don't think that the Solo was that terrible. I would have taken Solo over The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think it was, we got a little dazzled by the bullshit. They were like, oh, we're gonna have Star Wars every year from now until the end of time. That's great. You know, and be careful what you wish for, because it's too much, too soon. They should have had more time to actually think this through, and they didn't. But we're gonna wrap this one up. We do thank you for watching us, and we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.